Hey there, Mike.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Welcome back, everybody, to Call to an Interview. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
I don't even know what name of episode this is. What number is it?
I literally have no idea. Probably, 15? 16 maybe? I know
I think
we
we did more than that. Interesting. Okay, I cannot Google that right now, and I forgot to do it beforehand. So let's just call it 18 and fix it in post.
Works with
Even
me.
if we're doing it live and there's no post. Oh wait, we're doing it live, Mike.
Yes, we are. And we got
Gotta be
2
safe.
viewers.
I gotta be safe. Live content is dangerous in this COVID-19 times. So who do we have today?
I wanted to bring somebody that is passionate about Jurassic Park, as I am, since, we have you, Mr.
Man.
Jurassic Park 3.
Boom!
Hello.
We got the macaw.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
A little choking with this thing, but other than that,
Where do you get that? Did you order it from the internet?
I get all my things done. Like I do the branding. Right. You have to be like straight to your brand. I love them. What convinced you to come here and do this? Because I mean, really?
Well, you guys are nice, according to Tim, and I've been told we're supposed to support the video store, and I feel bad because I've not done other interviews before, but as like one of the only females in this community, I feel like I should probably participate in the things.
Fair.
Yeah.
Good pick, Mike. So, let's get into it. Mike, let's start this time because I can't remember whose turn it.
Yeah. What's the movie or movie moment that started your love for movies?
Yeah, so I don't really have like a thing, like I don't exactly have a moment like the way that Tim always talks about, like Guardians or Wolf of Wall Street, but a movie that I watched all the time that I was a kid that really just like kept me looking for new things was The Princess Bride. And this is gonna come back a lot because this movie was very influential in my childhood. I watched it like so much. And the first time I watched it recently was when we did the watch-along actually, but I just love everything about it, the way that it hits all the genres. And it's like it definitely started my love for storytelling. It's particularly, I would say, in the movie format. Yep. That is that. I was also in love with Carrie Elwes, obviously.
This is a very sweet pick, to be honest.
Yeah.
This movie is ranked very highly on my regard. Probably come up in a YLS episode we're kind of filming, but, for next year. I completely agree. Everything about this movie is brilliant, from As You Wish to Inconceivable to, whatever is that thing that he does to Prince Humperdinck sitting on a bed that convinces him to give up. Also, Rouse. I mean, everybody loves them, Rouse. Mike, of course you have seen this, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love this movie. It's a great fucking movie. Andre the Giant is so incredible in this movie. Billy Crystal is funny as shit. Carrie Elwes, I always love Carrie Elwes, so having him in here is amazing.
Yeah.
So, we're off to a good start.
Yes.
Next question. What's the first movie you remember seeing in theaters?
Yeah, so I have a long story about this movie, but I'll tell you first. So it's Finding Nemo. And so it came out in 2003, so I was 6 or so. So it's definitely not the first movie I ever saw in the theater, but it's the first one that I remember seeing. It came out on like the last day of school or like the last week of school, and we were like super hyped because we love Pixar and like we watched Toy Story and Bug's Life just like constantly all the time. And so we like bought like orange shirts from Walmart, and we like puffy paint and like made like Finding Nemo like clownfish shirts, me and my brother and my mom, and we wore them to the theater when we went to go see the movie. And it was like the last day of school, so she picked us up and we went and saw the movie, and it was super fun. And it will always stick in my memory, and so it's also one of the reasons that like Finding Nemo is like my number 2 or 3 top Pixar movies. I just really love it.
I think Finding Nemo is a pretty perfect movie. And we were talking about this recently in an episode that might come out later today about the fact that I feel that Pixar's animation, it has been getting better and better. But there is this period before Finding Nemo where I think it hasn't aged as well. I mean, Monsters Inc. and Toy Story 2 are pretty like right there, but
Yeah.
Bugs Life and Toy Story 1 are pretty rough.
Yeah, they
Like-
are. They're pretty bad.
But I feel the animation on Finding Nemo kind of got to the point where it doesn't bother me anymore. Like it can age whatever they want and they can do photorealistic stuff, but that one works. And yes, this is a top 5 Pixar for me. It's a beautiful story. Albert Brooks is brilliant in it, and I mean I love it. Mike, you don't like cartoons?
I like very unique cartoons. This is one of them. I enjoy this one. I saw it when it first came out. You were 6, I was 16, and I went
I was
back there.
22.
I know. And I actually
I'm young,
rewatched
guys.
all of them like 2 months ago, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the rewatch. It's a very fun movie, very sweet movie. This is a great pick.
Disney Plus, everybody.
Yeah,
That's where you're playing this. Also, Nicholas Duick, stop spoiling your interview in this show because. Okay.
If you could pick one movie from any era to be able to see in theaters, which movie would you choose?
I have to look to see what I picked. Oh,
This movie this is actually very interesting now because this used to be kind of like a fantasy question, but
Yeah.
now that there are no new movies, everything is in theaters. So
yeah. So I told you this was going to come up again, and I'm going to say Princess Bride again because I haven't seen it in the theater, and it is my all-time favorite movie. So I would love to see it because I have seen Jurassic Park and Jaws in the theaters. I've seen all the Indiana Jones movies in the theaters, like especially with all of the classic movies that I've seen Lord of the Rings in the theaters. So it's like at this point, it's one of the very few that I haven't seen in the theater, and I would really love to. And I know there have been plenty of opportunities. I just haven't seized them yet. But yeah.
I saw this in theaters in the 80s. But yeah, great movie. Still a great pick. Did you get to experience physical movie rentals? Like going to a video store and actually grabbing a copy of what you want?
Right. So I never, like, as a kid, went to, like, a video store. We would get stuff from, like, the library a lot. Like, we would go to the library probably at least once a week, if not twice, and, like, get, like, VHS and DVDs. We did that a lot when I was, like, really young, and the only thing I really remember getting was, like, documentaries for some reason, even though we were, like, kids. But it was about, like, you know, animals and shit, so. But
There
we did
has
do
to be something about translation because, you know, library here, it's like a place you get books. But
No, they
everybody
have
comes here. Yeah, everybody comes here telling me that you can get movies at the library. And I actually went to my library here and said, like, you have movies? Like, we're a fucking library.
No, that's definitely a big part. I worked at a library. That was like the most annoying thing because people would come with like 10 like DVDs and be like, I'm checking all these out. It's super annoying. But the other thing is, so back when Netflix, well, I don't know if Netflix still does this, but they did the mail thing with DVDs.
Yeah.
So we did that a ton. My grandpa loved it. And like when I was in like elementary, middle school, we spent a lot of time at his house. And so we got a ton of stuff from the Netflix mail thing.
I still find the whole concept weird. I think I have mentioned this before, but the only library I've ever seen where people could get movies was in the movie Thesis by Alejandro Amenábar in '96, and those were snuff films.
Yeah.
Did you get movies in the library too?
The past like 3 years, I think I've tried it a few times. Mainly the movies at the library that I go to were ones I already had or I'd already seen, so I didn't really have a good selection to go off of. But from what I hear, The UCLA library is fucking amazing. The LA library is great to do it.
So, I mean, the next question maybe should be changed to favorite library, but I don't know.
What's your favorite video store?
So, of actual video stores that I've been to, the only one is Family Video. There was one near Tim's house. So he loved going there. I always thought it smelled kind of weird, but they had movies there that we could rent. So,
I mean, is that unkept carpet smell that you could find at every single video store ever?
I believe you.
Yeah, I work a bit in a Hollywood Avenue video store, one that was here. Wait, no, Video Avenue was the name. Sorry, Hollywood Video was something else. Video Avenue store, and I can assure you, we did not clean that carpet very often. And there was a point where it got so nasty that the owner was like, you know what, rip up the carpet, just leave the tile, and just save it. So, fair. What was the first movie you chose to rent by yourself? And by this, I mean like the first time you were able to get some money.
Yeah, you go to Nagara's grandma's house, mow her lawn. She gives you a quarter.
Yeah. So I was thinking really hard about this question, and I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I know that when we did the Netflix thing, I remember like specifically requesting stuff like for me, but I do not remember what it was at all. The only thing that I could remember was those like the documentaries from the library. So
fair.
Sorry.
Weird. Okay. Let's change speeds here.
Who's your favorite actor?
Yeah, so I also thought long and hard about this question because there are so many that I like, but I'm going to go with Jake Gyllenhaal because I've been obsessed with him for a really long time. When this is going to be like so stupid, okay, but when Prince of Persia came out, that was probably one of the first things that I saw him in, and I was a young middle school girl, and I was like, damn, Jake Gyllenhaal, okay. And then after that, the next Jake Gyllenhaal movie I watched was Zodiac with my friend, because I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal is in this. So that was a little bit of a change of pace.
Yeah.
But I have watched a ton of movies now, obviously, that he's been in, and I think he's a really great actor. He can really do anything. Like, I think that Far From Home really proved that. And I'm always interested in whatever he's doing. So.
First thing, I get it. Yeah. And I agree that he can do everything except being Spider-Man for some reason. Because he was rumored to be Spider-Man at least 5 times. And just never happened. Yeah. My first memory of Jake Gyllenhaal is actually Donnie Darko.
I have seen that film.
Yes, a weird little film that I went to see with no expectation when I was in college, and it kind of blew my mind. And I understand why it's in a lot of people's top movies list because it's actually pretty brilliant. Oh, yeah. Except the only bad thing about that is that it gave Richard Kelly his name?
Yeah, Richard Kelly.
Richard Kelly, like, clout to make more movies, and that guy's a hack. But other than that, it's pretty good. I really think Jake Gyllenhaal is very underrated. Have you seen Southpaw?
Yes, I have. Yeah, that movie was good. I saw it in the theater, actually.
Yeah.
What's your favorite performance of his?
Yes.
Probably Nightcrawler, if I'm being honest. Oh. That movie is so good. And like at first I didn't like it because I was just so uncomfortable watching it. And then when I revisited it, I was like, okay, it is uncomfortable, but like it is so good. And it's so disappointing that he didn't get nominated because I think he really deserved it for that performance. So it's really
sad. The reality is that the man is like End of Watch, Jarhead, Nocturnal Animals. What is the name of that one, Mike, on the train with the 8 minutes?
Source Code.
Yep, Source Code.
Source Code.
Saw that in the theater. Only because he was in
that one. But yeah, obviously the guy can multitask and bolt to like every kind of movie, so that's pretty amazing. Great pick.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
this is also fueled by
I didn't ask a question. I forgot it was my turn. Who's your
Okay, I'm
favorite?
so sorry. Okay. Anyway, like I said, still fueled by my middle school days. It's Anne Hathaway. So I was a big fan of The Princess Diaries, and that was probably the first thing I saw her in. And then seen her in lots of different things now, obviously, from Les Mis to The Dark Knight Rises to a bunch of things in between. Probably my favorite performance of hers is Les Mis, because that's when I realized that she was like more than like the Princess Diaries girl, and that she like could act and sing, and so I really love that movie, and she's part of the reason. That is not. Oh, I guess yes, I have seen that movie. We actually watched it recently. That movie
That is Anne Hathaway. Yes.
Yes, yep, you're right. I had to think about it for a second, but I got there. Yeah, no, but I again, similar to Jake Gyllenhaal, she can pretty much do anything. She's been in lots of different genres, and yeah, I just like her.
I actually also think this is a pretty great pick.
Yeah.
I saw her one movie that I don't even remember the name, where she's like in a relationship and they are like having sex and doing drugs and back and forth. People didn't like that movie, but I thought she was pretty brilliant in it.
Love and
Is
Other
that the
Drugs?
one? Yeah,
Love
wasn't that
and Other
with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
I've seen
Love
that
and
movie.
Other Drugs. That's the movie. And yeah, and then sometimes she pulls off weird stuff like this movie.
Right, yeah, no, this movie's great.
So yeah, this is actually a very interesting pick. I always thought she had kind of like a timeless presence to her.
Yeah.
Like she feels like an actress that you could easily put in like a classic movie, like in the 40s, maybe replace Audrey Hepburn with Anne Hathaway, and nobody would even bat an eye. You know, she has that timeless look.
Yeah.
And I also think that sometimes she picks interesting projects, and then other times she picks Ocean's 8. But
Right. Yeah, her choices, like, I haven't seen Hustlers that came out this year, but I hear it's absolutely awful. But I'll probably watch it because she's in it eventually, so we'll see.
what is your favorite Anne Hathaway performance?
Les Mis, like I said before.
She said that?
Yeah.
That's okay, I can say it again.
That's my kid over there in the background.
That's fair. Hello.
He does not understand the fact that we're live.
That's fair.
So, good stuff. Thank you.
Aww.
He loves me. I like that. Next
Who's
question.
your favorite director?
Okay, so this was the question that I like couldn't answer, you guys. I'm really sorry. I don't really have a favorite. Like, I have a lot of directors. Like, I was talking through it with Tim, and I was like, well, what about this person? He's like, well, you haven't seen this amount of their movies. What about this person? He's like, well, you haven't seen these movies. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. So I really like Stanley Kubrick's movies, and I've seen all of them. So I thought about that. But also like Pete Docter, Pixar. I've seen all of Terrence Malick's films, and I hate most of them, but I kind of love him because I hate all of his movies. I'm trying to think of who else. Those were like the ones that were like sticking in my head. Oh, Peter Jackson, that was the other one. That was the one where
She can't decide.
I can't decide. Peter Jackson was the one I was really going with, and he was like, well, you only like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I was like, I've seen King Kong, that counts. And he was like, that's not enough. And I was like, oh.
Have you seen The Frighteners?
No.
Have you seen Heavenly Creatures?
No.
Dead Alive?
No.
Yeah, you cannot pick Peter
Yeah,
Jackson.
Yep.
Fair.
Yep.
What's your favorite movie?
Do you have a guess? It might
Is
have
it
come
The
up
Princess
already. It's The Princess Bride. Hands down. I like hate ranking movies. Like, I'm really not good at it, but this is the one thing that like I know that this is my favorite movie.
Makes sense. You truly do. I can tell love this movie. So 100% makes sense.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those movies that you can just watch on a loop and you'll never get really bored about it because it's always been like so clever and so entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still it's been, god damn, like 32 years or something. And it still breaks my heart when Inigo Montoya fights the six-fingered man. And he's like, offer me money, offer me riches, offer me that too, offer me anything I want. And he's like, everything you want. I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Ah!
it's
So
so good.
satisfying.
There's so many hype moments. It's just great.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's actually a great pick.
Yeah.
I don't even mind the fact that you're mentioning it in every single question.
I'm so sorry. I told you at the beginning it was gonna come up a lot.
It's okay because it's a great movie. I mean, if we would put, I don't know, like Battle of the Five Armies 5 times here, I would be concerned. But fair.
Okay, our most important question: Spielberg movies or Bergman movies?
I'm probably gonna pick the wrong answer for what you guys usually think, but I'm gonna go with Spielberg, even though there are plenty of movies of his that I think are incredibly long and boring, and I don't like.
Oh, yeah! I'll take that. Because
But I have to give it to him for like Jaws and Jurassic Park and like Schindler's List. But like I watched Empire of the Sun this year and I was bored to tears. I wanted to die.
which movie?
Empire of the Sun.
I have not seen that one.
It's really long, let me tell you.
Oh no, it is really long. I'll give you that. It's a long movie.
And like Munich was good, but it was also like really long. And I was like, Steven, come on, man. You can make a movie shorter than 2.5 hours. I believe in you.
I really liked Munich the second time I watched it. The first time I went to see it in theaters, I fell asleep. Gotta be honest there. And this guy thinks the man can do no wrong. Apparently, he can edit better. Are you defending 1941 right now?
Yes, I am.
Are you defending the BFG right now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
Zach will agree with me.
That is pretty savage. Next question. Kurt Russell, yes or no?
So before I answer, do you guys always ask this question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't know if you know this, but I'm incredibly obsessed with Kurt Russell. I love him. He is the best.
Sweet. I'm gonna take that as a yes.
That is a hell yes, actually, is what I wrote in my notes.
We still gotta know. It's weird, but
From who?
who was that, Mike?
I don't remember.
I will find them.
It was like somebody like Malcolm or Ryan Permison. I don't know.
Jesus.
Somebody like that.
I wasn't paid, Cody.
Another question.
Bruce Campbell, yes, no, or groovy?
I think groovy is obviously the correct answer to this question.
Yes.
I think we should do something else too today since Cody's in the chat. Cody is one of the 2 yeses, but when he got interviewed,
We didn't have
we
groovy.
didn't have the groovy option. Cody, do you want to change your vote to groovy?
Put it in the comments. We would
Leave it
change
in
the
the
vote
comments
right
so we
now.
have an accurate depiction. And now, sorry, Maggie. Yes, why groovy?
That's okay. Because Evil Dead is awesome.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy those films. And so Tim did this thing when we first started dating. I didn't watch a lot of horror movies, so that's mostly what we watched. And he kept showing me the remakes before he showed me the originals. So like I saw the remake of Evil Dead, which is good,
Yeah.
before I saw the original ones. And then we watched the original ones, and I was like, Tim, this is like totally different. Why did you do this way? And I didn't watch the TV show. But we saw Evil Dead the musical this past fall,
yeah.
and it was crazy.
It's weird. Sometimes musicals are better than the movies. I'm not saying Evil Dead the musical is better than the movie. It's really good. But for example, I watched the musical from Heathers. It's better than the movie. And Heathers is pretty good. So officially we changed Cody's vote, and now we only have 1 yes, 1 no, and 15 groovies.
Again, who said no?
It
I
was
think
either
it's somebody
Malcolm
that
or-
hadn't seen the Evil Dead movie, so they just couldn't do a yes.
I think
He's
this
in
one was
more
right.
than other evil. He's in more than Evil
I
Dead.
know.
He's in the 3 Spider-Man movies.
Right. He's in Sky High.
I know, Sky.
Come
The
on.
one movie everyone mentioned.
So I was gonna say everybody has mentioned the Sky High factor between the Kurt Russell,
Kurt Russell, Amber. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's that's the age range apparently. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we always like to close it out with a good question.
Mm-hmm.
recommend 2 movies people would not expect from you.
Yeah. So,
No
there
Princess
I feel-
Bride though.
what?
We expect Princess Bride, so no.
No, it's not Princess Bride. Don't worry. So some people might know this first one about me. Plus, I feel like it's hard to recommend it because I feel like so many people have seen it. But that's the original Halloween.
Hell yeah.
I really love the Halloween movies. They're really great. There was a October where that's like all Tim and I watched, and it was so much fun. Like even the bad ones are like
Yeah.
a good time to watch.
They're entertaining as shit.
Yeah, they really are. But again, he did the stupid thing where he had me watch the remake before I watched the original, and then we watched the originals, and I was like, Tim, why are you doing this?
Wait, the Rob Zombie one?
Yes. No, I'm not I'm recommending the
No,
original.
I mean, Tim made you watch the Rob Zombie one.
Both of them.
Why?
He loves the first Rob Zombie one. I've seen that one twice. He loves that movie. I've only seen the second one once, and I don't think we even finished it because it was.
The second one is when he goes all hillbilly crazy. Those are weird choices. I have mentioned this before. My dad used to take me to theaters when I was a kid to watch movies he wanted to watch, no matter if they were sequels, because there were no reboots back then. But for example, like he took me to watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and I was like, "Damn, Dad, that was a great movie." He's like, "Well, there's 2 more before us. You want to watch them when we get home?" Sounds like Tim has the same issue, but with reboots.
Yeah.
Did he make you watch the Jackie Earl Haley Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes.
Before the Robert Englund one?
Yes.
Damn
I
it!
love you, Tim, but it's true, right? I'm pretty sure. We watched a ton of like remakes of classic horror movies, and then over the years we've gone back and watched all of the movies in the franchise.
That's just wrong. Okay. At least you pick a very good
a
movie.
great fucking.
You didn't pick the Rob Zombie version, so
No.
give us another movie.
All right, so I was going between 2 different war movies, but I'm gonna go with Paths of Glory. I watched it recently in the last year when I was watching all of Kubrick's movies, and this movie is go away, Tim. I love this old movie. It is crazy good. It's nice and short, which I love, and it really just has a powerful message. And Kirk Douglas is really good in it. And yeah, I definitely highly recommend it.
I have not seen this movie. Somebody tried to make me watch this movie for trivia purposes in a round trip. I refused. I read the wiki. It was pretty good. Might give it a try at some point. Mike, have you seen Paths of Glory?
Yeah, I love it. It's so great.
Yeah, it's super good.
I do like Kirk Douglas, though.
Yeah.
Funny story. The first movie I ever watched from him was Greedy with Michael J. Fox. Have you seen that? Because it's pretty funny. Especially the last joke, which I will not spoil here. Basically, Kirk Douglas is an old man who has a lot of money, and all his family only cares is about his money. So he likes to fuck with them. It's pretty good.
Sounds like something.
Yes, definitely, this was a movie I did not expect to hear today. So, good job.
Thank you.
I think Andrew Barr would be proud. What?
My share that.
So that's all for our questions. Mike, do we have any extra questions from our of 3?
That was the last comment that I saw. There's no anybody have any questions? Put it up here in the chat. We got like a minute or 2. We can take other questions if anybody has any. We got 3 people in the chat. Let's go. Give us questions.
What the hell was this? Is that his actual name, Robbie Cummings?
Probably.
I mean, Gart knows.
I can't imagine Zombie is a real last name that somebody has.
We got
That
a
is
question.
actually something fair.
Cody, come on. Come on, Cody. You know the answer.
But then we have the ultimate question.
It feels pretty good, not gonna lie. It's good. It takes a lot of effort to be a goat, but it
I imagine it's hard to maintain the goat status.
That's the hard that there's so much pressure to do that. That's why like I have actually started studying fandom again because I'm like I have to actually do well.
Do you actually have to eat cans like actual goats?
Yes. My diet is strictly cans.
Fair.
Bird theme. Oh, we've already I am much better than Scully. That's not even a question. Come on. A long time. I still kind of have to think about it every time that I write it, and like make sure that it's right. And like today I applied for graduation and they're like, okay, so this is what it's gonna look like on your diploma. And I was like looking at it and I was like, this looks wrong, but I think it's correct. And I always say Brzakala in my head, so I know that I spell it right.
Do you actually like when people get married in America? Remember, I'm from Latin America, so it's a different thing. Do you have to change your name?
No.
Could you be still Maggie Parker even though you're married?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can
So
change
you
it to like
chose them.
anything.
You chose to go for college.
I did because I'm traditional and I wanted to change my last name. I know. I always joke that it was a step down in the last name department because Parker is so crisp and clean, but
And short and quick. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, my wife didn't take my name. But fair.
Mm-hmm.
What is this bird thing? There's like 5 bird comments.
So Scully is the Warhawk. That's his nickname in
Is that a bird?
Multiplex, and I'm the Macaw. So I don't know if there are any other birds, but it's always the joke between me and Scully, which one's better.
I did not know that the warhawk was a bird. I thought he made that up. I thought it was
Well,
like
it's not a real bird. It's a hawk in the title. So a Warhawk is not a real thing.
at least nobody's the Seahawks because they suck. Burn 49ers fan. No, she's not.
That's too bad.
She did not choose to be Mrs. VHS. Yeah. Again. Okay. Thanks very much, Maggie, for joining us today.
Wow. Thanks for
I
inviting
feel
me.
people are mostly trolling you, so I won't let that happen.
That's okay.
So, that's it. Where's my music? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Thanks, Mike, for being awake.
Yes, of course.
Maggie Brzakala for being such a great player and giving us your time today and talking some movies with us.
Yeah.
Call to an Interview is back, guys. We took a break. We always take breaks, but we're always back too. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for talking about birds.